All round, there it is. Happy days, we're just getting straight on with it. Right then guys, welcome to another episode of Hooked. My name's John Murray and I'm an angling addict, and today I'm back on the banks of the River Hull. So you're probably wondering where I've been for the last 3 months. Well, I've been out fishing. I've been fishing a winter league up at the York Railway Pond. I managed to get a second place in that. I've also been out on numerous occasions, and I've actually been down to this river once, but the weather was so bad that the camera blew over 4 times, so I abandoned filming and thought I'd come back another day. Bizarrely enough, today is yet another windy day, and I did come out with the intention of fishing the long pole, but there's just no way I can hold it in position over by the boats and fish effectively, basically. So because I knew there was going to be a bit of wind today, I thought I'd bring this short stick float rod, because I had a few fish close in last time, and I was fishing a whip, but I just couldn't get a long enough run with the whip really to make sure I could search the peg out enough. Now I've been fishing for probably about 2 hours now, and I got a fish straight away on maggot. I've been feeding hempen castor only. I've just set up literally a 4x4 stick, and I'm fishing down the shelf. The river slopes off probably to about 8 or 9 foot out on the long line, but I'm only fishing 4 foot deep and literally just off the end of my rod. Initially I got a few fish probably 25 yards down the river, and I've started drawing them closer and closer. I'm feeding upstream of me. The wind is upstream. It's absolutely spot on for the stick float, to be honest. It's making presentation a dream. And now I've seemed to be getting a few fish that are just sort of located just downstream of me. So I'm dropping the rig in just up here, letting it settle, and I'm just easing it through. And there's a few good fish down here right now, and a lovely, lovely roach. So I'm not going to waffle too much more. We'll go through things in a little bit more detail as we continue fishing throughout this session. But yeah, fingers crossed we're going to have a really good day. Now remember guys, if you enjoyed the videos, give them a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode every time we upload one. Let's crack on. So the setup's quite simple. I've got a 2,500 sized Daiwa Ninja reel, and that's got 3 pound DH Pro match line on it. We're using the 13 foot Acolyte Plus rod. And rig wise, I've just got a Dave Harrell 4x4. It's basically a cane stemmed balsa float, traditional style. Underneath that we've got 4 number 4s, which are just helping it cock in this really quite good flow on this river. It's not so bad the closer in you are as you fish up the shelf, so it's a little bit steadier than it is further out. Out there I needed the 5 gram rig basically overshotted, and then down the line about every 4 inches we've just got a number 8. If I can rescue that off there. As I say, down the line we've just got a number 8 sort of every 4 inches. And we're fishing that down to a size 18, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a size 18 carbon match. I apologise for the noise, somebody's decided to get the motorbike out just behind me and they're revving up. But all I'm doing is feeding hempen castor, and I'm fishing a single red maggot over the top. I have had bites on castor, but red maggot seems as good as anything right now. Feeding in stream of me, literally fishing off the end of the rod here. That's a fish on straight away. Look at the quality of these. Beautiful roach, absolutely beautiful. So they took a while to turn up. The ones I was catching earlier were a lot smaller than that, but the stamp has really improved now. Fishing really don't get much simpler than this. Just hold back and then ease through. That fish came a little bit lower down the swim. A bit smaller, that one. Probably just missed out on getting through the better ones, which seem to be sat higher up the swim. They're probably grabbing the majority of the bait as it goes in. Just lose that. Little and often, pinch of end, a few maggots, a few casters. Just keep them hungry. That's another one. Quality roach fishing this. Stamp of these. So I was going to fish the bread. Last time I came though, I did get a few fish on the caster, and I thought I'm going to try the caster and maggot today, because I just had a feeling that it would fish on the stick on the inside, and this was always my intention, was to set up a stick float line with the caster on the inside. I didn't think it'd be quite this good. It's gone again, it's absolutely buried. Solid down there now. The beautiful fish. Oh, it's gone. Gone again. Another fish, slightly lower down the swim that time. They just backed off a bit maybe, but an absolute beauty again. Oh, look at that, glistening in the sun. Fat roach, gorgeous. See the stick float lift as you hold back in the clarity of the water that we've got here, and they do like it held back at times. Static bait seems to work quite well. Just goes to show these fish aren't always sat hard on the bottom like we think they might be this time of year. They're up in the levels. And you think you're throwing those casters in, and as they're going through in the flow, there's probably not many of them make them down to the bottom. When you lose feeding in a flow like this, certainly out in the deeper water on the long line, you need to get some weight in, either bait dropper it or as I was doing with the bread before I realised that it was completely unfishable today, adding oyster shell and hemp into my dampened off punch crumb, which give it some weight to allow it to get down. Just going to try a caster. I've had one fish on caster, but it was a bleak. Had a few smashed ones, not really being able to connect with them. So they're definitely eating them. But just easier to fish a maggot over the top when they're taking it. Oh, lovely. Lovely fish on caster. Nothing better than seeing a stick float dance around. So, proof indeed, they are eating casters. Missed that one. Absolutely destroyed that caster. So we'll pop a maggot back on. Still getting the quality on the maggot, so I think the casters has drawn them in. It's all I've fed anyway. I've not fed any maggots. Superb bite. Fishing just don't get better than this. Beautiful. Gone. Just teased the float for a second, that fish, and then bump, it was under. So much more efficient on the maggot. They're not marking the maggot now. The tiny fish were smashing the maggot a little bit. I'm getting to the point now I'm able to catch 3 or 4 fish on the same maggot. The wind is getting worse. Some wild gusts. Maybe forecast up to about 25 mile an hour today. Tomorrow supposedly is going to be worse, but these are definitely stronger than 25 miles an hour. Hence I put the pole away. Just struggling to get a bite on the last few runs, but not just dipped it on the float a little bit where I took it. Not as big as the last few. Wild wind is just making presentation a little bit awkward. Slowing the float down possibly too much. Go back on the caster. Just ease off on the feed a second. We'll Won't feed anything in this time through. See if we can just get them to climb up the swim a bit more. There we go, fish on caster, the small one. Yes, delicious. Still backyard there, quite well down the run. Another fish fell. Seems to be a few of these smaller fish just sat down maybe 15 yards downstream. They're maybe not getting or looking for the majority of the bait, and the bigger ones are sat higher up, but I haven't had a bite. Haven't had a bite within the zone under my rod tip in the last few runs through. I think sometimes when the wind gusts it just alters the presentation of the bait slightly, and the warier, bigger fish won't take it. Right, so I'd just like to say thanks to everybody that asked how I was doing when I wasn't putting up any videos. Yeah, I don't want to get into it too much, but basically, you know, I just got a bit disillusioned with it. Felt like I needed a break. There was a couple of sort of filming embargoes imposed on me. So, yeah, I just got a bit fed up really, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go out fishing, do my own thing for a bit. But hopefully I'll be back. I've got quite a lot of things planned for the upcoming season. I've got 2 or 3 weeks now where I can just go and do what I want. I'm not going to go in for any matches. And then on the 2nd of April, I'm out with the Bandits at Lindholm. And there is a Murfield AC Spring League up on the Aaron Calder, which I'll be fishing. So that'll be most Saturdays for about 8 weeks. And that should take us up nicely into the river season then. And hopefully, at the time of filming, I've not got any tickets because they've not gone on sale yet, but we'll be getting a number of the Northern River Masters tickets and visiting all the rivers around the region again. And fingers crossed again, this year we're going to actually qualify. So that's probably going to be my main focus. There's probably not a great deal more I can fit in. Might get the odd opening here and there, maybe go and do the odd commercial. It's not really my thing, as you know. I prefer my natural venues, but yeah, I'm looking forward. It's going to be a busy season, so there's probably going to be pretty much a match fishing style video coming up every weekend throughout the summer months at least. And then come winter, I have not made any decisions on where I'm going to go yet. That's all up in the air, but I've got a few ideas for next year. Don't know if you can see that, but I've got the new Preston clicker. If anybody's interested, brilliant piece of kit. Cost $15.99 in the shops. You might get them cheaper, I don't know, but I was very impressed with that when I saw it. I'm surprised with the quality of fishing down here that there's not more people that fish this. It seems to get pike fished quite heavily, but There doesn't seem to be many coarse anglers come down here. Maybe they're all summer fishermen. A small fish down at the end of the run there. I mean, I don't know this river well. It's not a river I'd fished until last year, but every time I come I'm learning a little bit more. I just wish I wasn't always faced with this battering wind. It's a difficult river to master, and I think that's why I like it so much, because there's the tide to contend with it running off at different paces. It's been running from right to left all day today, and I think it's on quite a low tide when I looked, just trying to get my head around the levels and when it's actually fishable, because driving across from York, it's a 40-minute journey or so. The last thing you want to do is turn up here and find that you can't actually get anywhere near it. I think I've got an understanding of that now anyway. I'm just not 100% on when the tide at Hull actually reaches up here. I think it's maybe sort of about a 3-hour delay, something like that. But I've not seen it come back up today. And the last time I was here it ran off all day as well. Whereas in the River Masters, when we started, it was running to the right to start with and then started moving off to the left by midday. So it can go both ways. That's obviously a consideration when you're feeding. Oh, there we go. It's nice when it's running one way. That's a lovely, lovely roach, that. I think we'll net that one. Nice fish. They're what we want, aren't they? Stunning. Soon build a weight with them. And there is a round of the River Masters on here this year, so I think it's normally a little bit later in the year, maybe around about October. I certainly won't discount setting up a light stick float this time around. All depends on the float. It won't float so hard, you can catch these on a whip. The stick float's just allowing me to search the peg a bit more. That's gone again. That's lovely. Ah, yeah. Small fish. Felt good to start with. We just struck into a bit of weed along with the fish then. I have got the long rod with me as well, and I probably could have fished that down the middle. It'll just become more of a handful when the wind's bashing through. To be honest, the fishing's... Oh god, pike! Great big pike! That was an absolute monster. I don't know if we caught that on camera, but he turned on that fish and it was gone. I think he's done me. That was a big fish. The flank on the side of that pike was massive. Absolutely massive. He's had me hook linked away. Just thinking, I've not had any pike problems. I'm supposed to show how many fish are stacking up down there now. Scared me to death. So he might make the swim go a bit quiet. Well, give me a few more problems. Oh, I've got a new hook on and carry on. There we go, fish. Small dace that. Just a little bit below where that pike struck. I don't know whether it's dispersed them fish for the time being. Hopefully they'll come back. There we go. The dace. Yes, I think I was saying before that pike struck that we could have fished the bollard out of the bill. Oh, it's sticking my breath away. But, say it's a little bit tricky hanging onto the rod. Last time I was here, I mean, it was one of those named storms. I just couldn't even hang on to the 17-foot rod that day. That's why I had the idea that actually I was able to catch a few fish short on the whip, and that the stick float might actually work on the shorter rod. You'd probably even get away with something shorter than this to fish right off the end of it, but it's not too bad on the 13. There we go. Oh, pike again. Ah, he's on. Damn it. He's come in and absolutely smashed that fish. Got it back though. Thankfully he's let go. He is absolutely on fire. The speed he hit that fish with. Sat right under my feet this time. So he's going to be a menace. Say he, but it's definitely a she because it's a big one. Try and get these fish out quick. Another fish, nice one. Oh, the pike. Oh. I don't know if the pike had hold of that. But we lost it. We're in a mess. There we go. See if we can keep these fish coming. The size of them seems to have dropped off again. That's a dace. But we're still getting bites. I just hope the pike's had his fill now. And we can tap some of these bigger roach back. It's gone. So I'm catching sort of maybe 12 yards down the swim now. That's a small roach again. Oh yes, we're in again. We've lost the quality. Last, we attempted a better fish. That fish had 3 stabs at that. I'll try and get it in quick. I'm concerned the pike's still around. Seems to be getting a bit of quality coming back now. Starting to increase the feed as well. We'll try and hold some of these fish in the area. Don't want to send them down river, but I want a little bit of bait to try and get down. I think it probably is where we're catching these fish. That's another nice bite. So they're coming back. And that's fish number 50. It's gone. Right, well, I'm not sure what you have and haven't seen. I don't think the camera's been recording. Maybe this one has. And as it couldn't hear me, and that's because I didn't have my audio recorder on. And my GoPro was off as well. So, don't quite know how that happened. But hey, I've been filming for a while. But yeah, you maybe saw the rod was doubled over, and that was the great big pike. So it's kind of ruined my swim 4 times today now. Still got fish here, but the wind is getting much worse, significantly worse than it was. There do seem to be fish sat right at my feet as well now, but they are all over the swim, and it's Worth being on the stick just to search them out. But the sun's getting really bad down to my left on the water, so it's difficult trotting too far down now and actually being able to spot the float. So I'm trying to catch within the first few metres in front of me. I'm getting a few fish. They have dropped down a little bit, so I'll just have to be careful how much caster I'm putting in. Nearly out of hen, but it's probably done its job, and that's to hold a few fish in the area today. Not tried it on the hook, it's only the tin stuff. The glare on the surface is horrendous now. Lovely bite. Weak. The second one of those we've had today, thankfully. Another fish down the run. A lot of these small roach, better ones, might be a bit further out on the deeper line, but in this wind there's just no fishing for them really. We are definitely getting the odd better fish on the inside, but I think the skimmers are down the middle as well. That's another one, that's a nice fish. Lovely. Them are the stamp we're looking for. Nice roach. Ooh, just a little bit better. Perch. Yeah, stripey. It's hard work working the net today. It's catching it. Nice fish down the run. Another beautiful roach. Lovely fish. Lovely fish. I've missed it. There we go. One thing I've learnt today, it's do not ignore right off the end of your rod tip. I'm only fishing 4 foot deep, just down the shelf. It's a lot deeper further out, it shelves off quite a lot more, but it just goes to show quality fish will sit really close in if you feed them. Sorry, the quality fish will sit really close in if you feed them. You know, they've come and sat over the top of that feed. They're literally under the rod tip now. And I don't know whether the pike scared them off earlier or it just pushed them closer to the bank, but that's my big takeaway from the river roll today, is don't ignore your close line. I mean, what I'm doing now would probably be more suited to fishing on the whip, but that said, there's still a good flow down here, and at times I'm having to run the float slightly down, but there is a lot of fish right under the rod tip now, so you pay your money, you take your chances. I think the stick's definitely got a place early on when you're trying to find a few fish and draw them upstream, but if you can get them really queuing up. See, even this rod's a little bit too long for what I'm trying to do, because I'm literally fishing on the end of the rod tip. There's some good fish down there. Slightly slower pace of water out of the main flow. Nothing that time, so on the whip I'd have had to flick out and come back in and flick back out again. On the stick I'm into a fish a little bit further down. So a little bit further down that time. It's another fish up. Even the small ones, you know, they're all weight. You're looking for a match weight. An ounce is an ounce. That's buried. There we go. That's fish number 100. I think we'll call it a day at that. So I'll get a little bit of gear away, we'll pull the net out and we'll see what we've had. Right, let's see what we've had. Lovely catch of roach in there, 100 fish. Can't complain for March. I'm not sure if you can see them all, but anyway, I'm happy with that. Could have done with a few more of the stamp ones by the looks of it. We've had quite a lot of little ones. There's probably about a good 8 or 9 pound of fish in there today, so not a bad day's fishing for late winter, early March. Right guys, you know the drill. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode every time you upload one. Hopefully I'm back, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, tight lines.